Close your eyes. Imagine you're 19. You're at Harvard, the pinnacle of human intelligence. Your friends are dreaming of a job at Goldman Sachs. They want a boss. They want a salary. I wanted something else. I wanted to own the air they breathe. Most people think the stock market is a place. It's not. It's a battlefield of human psychology. It's a place where fear meets greed, and the person with the coldest heart wins. I am Ken Griffin. Today, I'm not going to show you how I became a billionaire. I'm going to show you how I broke the very fabric of Wall Street from a room that smelled like old books and cold coffee. If you think this is a success story, you've already lost. This is a story of a ghost that became a king. The year was 1987. Data was the new gold, but it was locked in a vault. I needed that vault open. I bought a satellite dish, a massive metallic beast. It was my eyes, my ears, my unfair advantage. The night I installed it on the roof of Cabot House, the wind was howling. I knew the university deans would hunt me down. I knew the rules said no. But when you're building an empire, rules are just suggestions for the mediocre. And I remember the footsteps in the hallway, the knock on my door, 3 men in suits. They told me I was a liability. I looked at the satellite dish, then back at them, and I realized I was already smarter than everyone in that room. I didn't back down. I made them realize that the future was sitting in my dorm room. And they were just the past trying to hold it back. Came the money, $265,000. It wasn't mine. It was my grandmother's. Imagine the weight of that. One wrong click, one bad calculation, and I'd destroy the woman who gave me everything. One. People ask, Ken, did your hands shake when you placed the first trade? My answer, my hands have never shaken because I wasn't gambling. I was hunting. I spent nights in total silence, lit only by the blue glow of my IBM. I was looking for convertible bonds, the hidden cracks in the market. I realized that the market has a pulse, a rhythm. If you listen closely enough, it tells you exactly when it's about to fail. While Harvard slept, I was awake, decoding the heartbeat of global finance. I wasn't a student anymore. I was an anomaly, a ghost in the machine, the 19th of October, 1987. The world called it Black Monday. I call it the Day of Judgment. The market didn't just fall. It vanished. Billions of dollars disappeared into thin air. Men who had been icons for 40 years were crying like children in the streets of New York. The Harvard campus was paralyzed. I sat in my chair, staring at the screen. The red numbers were screaming. My model was screaming too, but it wasn't screaming run. It was screaming attack. While everyone else was blinded by fear, I was guided by math. That day, I didn't just survive. I thrived. By the time the sun set on the greatest financial collapse in history, a 9-year-old in a dorm room had made his first million. The experts were dead. The institutions were broken. And I was standing on top of the ruins. Today, I manage $60 billion. I move markets. I influence governments. I am the architect of the invisible machine. People still ask me why I'm so cold. It's because I saw the world end in 1987, and I was the only one who knew how to profit from the ashes. If you want to be like me, stop looking for luck. Start looking for the equation, because in this world, there are those who follow the rules, and there are those who write them. My name is Ken Griffin, and I've only just begun to play. Subscribe or get out of the way. This game doesn't end. It only changes players. Most people believe success has a finish line, a final number, a moment where the screen fades to black and the credits roll. They're wrong. There is no finish line. There is only replacement. Kings fall, empires rot, and the game waits patiently for the next player who understands its rules. Pause, sound of a ticking clock. The market cares about your dreams. It doesn't care about your education, and it definitely doesn't care how hard you worked. The market rewards one thing only: adaptation. Every decade, the players change. In the 80 seconds, it was traders with loud voices and faster phones. In the 90 seconds, it was hedge funds with leverage and confidence. In the 2000s, it was banks too big to fail. And today, it's algorithms, data, cold decisions made in silence. The game didn't end. It simply upgraded. Sound fades into digital beeps, server hum. People ask why the old legends disappear. Why yesterday's genius becomes today's headline and tomorrow's warning. It's not because they became stupid. It's because they stopped changing. They fell in love with the version of the game that made them powerful. And the game hates loyalty. Ideas, this is the rule no one tells you. The moment you feel safe, you are already losing. Because safety means comfort, and comfort means blindness. The game punishes comfort. Slow rise in intensity. Look closely at history. Every collapse tells the same story. Not ignorance, not bad luck, rigidity. They kept playing by rules that no longer existed. While the game moved on without them, silence, then a single sharp tone. This is why the game doesn't need villains. It doesn't need heroes. It only needs participants. And when a player stops evolving, the game replaces them quietly, efficiently, without emotion, low voice, almost a whisper. Some people call this cruel. Others call it unfair. But the game doesn't answer complaints. It only responds to equations, ideas. If you want to survive this game, understand this. Winning once means nothing. Winning twice means nothing. Even winning for 10 years means nothing. The game is not impressed by your past. It is obsessed with your next move. The sound of pages flipping data scrolling. That's why power doesn't belong to the loudest voice in the room. It belongs to the quietest mind, the one watching patterns while others chase noise, the one adapting while others argue, the one preparing while others celebrate, slight rise in confidence. Because in the end, the game doesn't end. It only changes players. And the only real question is, will you change with it? Or will you become another name? There are those who follow the rules. There are those who break the rules. And then there are those who rewrite themselves. They don't fear the end because they know there is no end, only the next player